I have not felt this happy, this hopeful in a very long time. Are you happy? Are you hopeful? Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of God, the most merciful, the most compassionate. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was more than an American patriot. He was a global citizen. And not just any global citizen, a gutsy global citizen. You know, when young people in the United States celebrate Dr. King, it's typically in the context of fighting racism or economic poverty or military war. And make no mistake, all of these issues are fiercely urgent. Yeah. Yet today, I want to pay tribute to Dr. King in a different way. I want to tell you how he inspired me, a Muslim, to champion reform in my own revolutionary faith of Islam. A creed, a promising creed, a transformational creed that, like America's, had become corrupted by human rights abuses and groupthink and greed and violence. Now, I knew that the message of religious reform would lead to danger and could lead to death. My mother, she was scared. She feared for my security and for her reputation as a parent. What would the community say about a woman who raised a daughter to stand up when the elders wanted her to sit down? And what would I say to my own mother in the face of that demand? Well, here, Dr. King provided a crucial lesson by defying his father. Let me share that story if you don't already know it. It was nearing Easter in 1963, and civil rights activists were holed up in a hotel room with Dr. King and with Martin Luther King Sr. These civil rights activists were being prohibited by law from marching in Birmingham, Alabama. What would Martin do? Would he risk embarrassing his highly respected preacher, minister of a father, by spending Easter in prison? Oh, God. The dilemma, ladies and gentlemen, the dilemma glared. And so did Dad. He glared at Martin from across the table in that hotel room. Dr. King got up and went into another room to pray. He then came out and, without uttering a word, proclaimed his decision. According to the civil rights historian Taylor Branch, Martin came out in blue jeans. And that announced, I'm not going to the services with the flowers and the anthems and the great choir. I'm here in blue jeans, which means I'm ready to go to jail. When I learned that story, I too realized that honoring thy mother and thy father does not have to mean agreeing with them. Oh, Dr. King's brand of activism taught me so many more lessons as a Muslim reformer. Taught me that, as has often been said about America, there is nothing wrong within Islam that cannot be corrected by what is right within Islam. It taught me that culture is not divine. It is man-made. And therefore, custom must never be treated as off-limits to human improvement. It taught me to be alert to those who fancy themselves moderates, yet who, in their passivity, enable violent extremism. And it taught me, Dr. King's brand of activism, to not fear being deemed an extremist myself, as long as my activism is constructive and joyous and life-affirming, rather than destructive, dispiriting, and dehumanizing. Well, you know what? My once frightened mama is now the biggest supporter of Muslim reform. And you know why? Because I practiced with her the ultimate lesson that Dr. King brilliantly role modeled, namely, resist humiliating those who disagree with you. Resist that. Instead, listen to them, engage, ask questions, and listen further. And here's why. Seeking to crush your skeptics and your doubters and your detractors only makes them more defensive, which means your view will not be heard by them. That's nonviolence. Exactly. That's love. And that is such a vital lesson today, amid all the shaming and blaming and gaming that we human beings continue to do to one another. So, because Dr. King motivated me to undertake a massive mission, I need to pay it forward. All of these lessons and more are in my book, Allah, Liberty, and Love, a copy of which most of you, a whole lot of you, will receive on your way out of services today. Use it, ladies and gentlemen. Use it to become the kings of the 21st century. Because, as has been said before, but needs to be said again, the best way to emulate today is not just to commemorate its icon, it is to do as its icon did, as best we can, every day. A gutsy global citizen in American genes. May Allah cherish our dear brother in the hereafter, and may all of us keep his example, his morally courageous example, vibrantly alive in the here and now. We're not off work. God bless you.